step now is for us to look at the other one, which is using scenario outline and example. So I'll be a bit fast because of course I'll be a bit faster. So go half an hour to finish. So I will cover this one. I will cover this step. So the next one is scenario outline. So let's create another feature file. And we also call it data driven with examples. Okay, so and I would just do the same thing. So copy this basically. So then change this. So I just need to do that a little bit faster. So this is what. Be careful when you are copying and paste, so you know what you are copying. So the feature name has to be distinct. It should not be similar to the other feature that you've created. So it's okay. So now I'm going to be using examples actually. Like I said, when you're using example, you need to use scenario outline. That's the first thing that you need to know. So you need to use scenario outline. So, and for instance, if let me run this one. Let me build the last one. So, yeah, this is the test. So if I try to run it, I'm expecting this to fail, basically. Okay. No, it's not got example as well. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Just to see, I'm trying to do a bit of troubleshooting. So now let's see. We need emails. We need password. So what's my email? So I'll put this here. There's a question here. It's like, do we use scenario or scenario outline when using tables? No. So we don't need to use scenario outline. I think I'll explain this actually. That you don't scenario outlines is okay if you're talking about tables as in like this, right? So yeah, when you're using examples, I would say I will need to be specific, so not tables, because there are instances when you will use tables that you don't need scenario outline. So I'm just trying to, yeah, this should not work, because when you have scenario, let me run it. I'm not expecting this to pass actually, to be honest. So I'm just trying to see. I'm not expecting that unless there's something, because you need to have scenario outline. That's. I would need to look into this actually. Yeah, that's tricky actually. Maybe this is issue with Specflow. But yeah, you would need to actually, say practice too. So when you have scenario outline, so I need to look into why that is actually passing. But actually, you would just to go back again to be so because I was trying to do troubleshooting. So now for scenario outline, basically. So let's look into this now, so I don't confuse other people. So now for data driven using scenario outline, right? So what you will need to start with is scenario outline. When you have scenario outline, you need an example. You need the example. Then it follows with a table, right? So don't put. I won't advise, right? Even though I think I saw it's actually worked, but this is. Don't do this. Basically, scenario outline goes with scenario. Basically, with scenario outline goes with example. So, this is what you would do. Scenario outline, and you put your examples basically like that. So, and the next thing that you need to do is when you have the table, right? Your table should be specified. So instead of like so, you have email, and then when I enter password, so instead of passing the real password right now, I pass the header of my password table. So let's say if my header is passwords, this becomes passwords. So, and I can as well do this. So this becomes, maybe I want to have different instance. One, and this is two. Right. So this is what you're going to have, basically. So you would, as you can see, I did not create another step, basically, for that. Someone actually asked me that I have features files. I've got 3 feature files, but I only have 1 page object. Why? Because one, step definition allows you to reuse your steps, basically. So, and your page object, I'm not creating a new page, basically. I'm only using the same page. But because my feature files, I want to be able to distinct them. I want to be able to say, this is a different feature files. Different. So it's not you create your page object based on the page that you are testing. So it's not going to be one-to-one mapping that I've got one feature, then I have to go at one page object. I've got another feature, I have another page. No, it doesn't align to that. The same way also for step definition also. It doesn't matter because you say, okay, I've got a feature file, then I have to have corresponding step definition. It doesn't go that way. So because everything is kind of one solution or one project, so you can decide to use any step definitions and link it with any feature, basically. So as long as from your step, you can know this is my data-driven steps. This is my step. So you can actually, for let's say you are running a normal website, let's say this is my login step, this is my registration step, this is my posting step. You can create those steps like that. And then your feature file can be inside this one. This can be, because this can be registration feature, this can be login feature, this can be posting feature. But however, in the posting feature, you will need to log in. So, and because you need to log in, your step would also be in the login step. So you will be using the login step inside the feature, inside the posting step, basically. So it's not going to be one-to-one mapping for each of those ones. So, but I think as you go through it, you'll be able to understand, and it's a matter of using it basically. So it's not one-to-one actually, so you don't need to worry about that. I hope I've been able to answer that question. So yeah, okay. So now, as you can see, I did not create any new step definition for this basically. So if you go into this, it's linked to my old step definition that I've created for this step, for this particular data driven, right? So even though I have a new data driven step with example, so the step for this one is the one that I'm actually using. So you know that if you also are using the examples, the same step is one that is used or created basically. So for instance, because let's try to run it now. Let's try to run this step. Okay, so it's not yet build. Let's build that so that. Okay, so now I've got 1, 2. So that's it. This is put this. This is with text so that we can differentiate it, and this one with parameter. Okay. Let's remove. Okay, I've got 3 errors. So let's see what the errors are. So let's look into. We've got 3 errors. So 1, could not find reference to Specflow based data driven. So let's say could not find. Okay, not this one. Okay. Alright, so another first step is this one. So the first one is I'm unable to delete. We need to resolve this one first. So unable to delete my Chrome driver basically. So I think because I have stopped one Chrome driver, so if you have an issues like this, what you need to do is kill your Chrome driver. If you don't know how to do that, close your Visual Studio and open it again. That might resolve the issue, but just need to close your Chrome driver and create that process. So if you go into the Visual Studio, so I've got all this Chrome driver, so just kill these processes. So and that should resolve this particular error for me. So this error is normally created when you build your test and then you stop it, and your Chrome already started. So because your Chrome already started, so it's not actually dead, the process is live. So when you try to rebuild your step, it will not be able to delete that particular Chrome driver and create another instance of the DLL for you. So you would need to kill that process. So so basically that comes. So now I've got my 3 steps, my 3 tests. So let's see the one I want to run. Okay. So now, okay, now this is what I was talking about. Now, this is no longer going to be one test, because as you can see, this is with examples, and then you can see it's got two tests, 1, 2, because each one of these are different tests now. So your test is going to run, take this one as data type, test data, and run that test on it, and take the second one also. So let's try to run this. No, okay, because for the time being, so I would just pause this one. I don't need this because we know that the defeat was from mascara. Okay, let's try to, yeah, quickly do this also. I want to navigate to the other side also, just to show this is a bit advanced now. So now, and so if I go into, okay, so let's say I want to navigate to that site now also. As you can see now, I did not do anything, no coding, nothing. The same step that I've used, I just changed the URL, and that's it, basically. So now, this particular test is going to go into this particular URL, and it's going to also go into this particular URL. Then after that, move to. So let's see how that works. So I'll put a breakpoint here on debug. So I think I've got some error. Okay, let's go. I'm going to go F11, F10, 10. So I'm going to, so that you can see what I'm actually doing. So I'm going to go to F11 on that one. See, so my step now is keep it. So I'm expecting that to go into that. So that site is navigated to. So and go. So it's coming back to the second one. So which is now, you can see this is not the second step. Basically, as you can see, the URL have changed, but the method is the same method that is calling right now. So if you go step into that one, so you can see it's gone to that step, to that particular URL. So then the next step is this, basically when I enter email address. So I want to enter my email address, and you should be able to see email address is entered. Then you go into that one. So this will fail because I've not written a step for that. So which is, yeah, so because it's pending, so that's going to fail. So maybe we should quickly just write that one. So what do we need to write on this particular step? So we want to write, okay, I'll just leave that for now, to be honest. So it's going to be the same step that we've done. So you would kind of do something like that, enter password. So like I said, I've done a quick way password. I know that is not. So the issue, for instance, for PO, it's fine, right? But this is what I was talking about. I'll come back to this right now later. So now my enter password, it's a method that I've created. I want to link to my page object. So for me to do that, I just started from here, basically. So which is another step to create it. But if you are confusing about that, you don't need to use this approach. What you need to do is go to your page object. This is the page object. Go into this page object. So create your, okay, so create your login for your password. So once you get the password, once you get the password, instead so the same way also that is called ID. So let's use the ID. So we call it password. So we want to say, I'm just trying to use different attributes actually to get the elements. So in most cases, if it's got an ID, that's the best thing to use basically. But because this is training, I would use different approach. So okay, I've found my password. Then the next one I want to do is I want to create a method to be able to enter password. So, and then that is now password dot send keys because I'm going to type inside it. So then what am I going to type inside? So this is the method to type inside the password basically. But now what I'm going to type inside is going to come from my feature file. So because of that, I need to pass an argument here and say password. So then that password, instead of putting the codes and I put in my password, I'll pass that as an argument inside, basically. Okay, so now this is the issue I have right now. It's a bit confused right now. This is a password and this is another password. So bear in mind, you need to make sure that your naming convention is distinct so that doesn't confuse. Which one are you referring to? Are you referring to this or are you referring to this? So make sure you get that correct. So now I'm going to just change this to PSW. Or hold on, let's say I change this to password text. So then this becomes password text. So and this is now string password. So that it's easy for me to understand what I'm saying. So as you can see, this is the password text, this one, and this is the password I am getting from my feature file. So when I go into my page object now, when I go into my step and when I enter, so I can call that step using the instance of my page object. I can say, okay, page object, where is that? Enter password, okay. So now it's expecting something, as you can see, expecting password. So I can pass PO P0, which is this one I'm actually getting. But the issue now is basically this doesn't make any meaning to me, basically. So that's where I advise that you change it first before you start to use it. Because what you pass here is what you pass in there. But it doesn't matter. Since you already pass it, even if you go into this step definition, into your page object rather, it's basically your PO becomes your password there, basically. And it does work like that, basically. So, but changing it here allows you to able to see what you're actually passing. One way or the also refactoring, you can rename that particular. So this is now going a bit advanced to say, oh, I've used that PO in a lump in a lot of places, and I want to rename it. You can right click and just say rename. So C# is going to help you rename it basically. So you can say I want that to be. So you don't need to worry about this. So that's it. So that's the renames. You can see both of them are renamed at the same time. So okay. So now, like you've seen here, our feature file, it's got two steps. It's two tests basically, as you can see, 1 and 2. So let's try to run it and let's debug. Okay, I will still come back to this. I don't know what now is showing there. So if you continue, this is, we know it's the first instance of the browser. As you can see, the first one is one that's running. Okay, I think it's complaining about. Okay, it's complaining about the email. So unable to locate that email address. So let's see what that is. Okay, so another thing, let's try to rebuild that. Right. Okay, same thing again. So I just need to, because I've solved this particular one, sometimes we just close it, so I might just resolve it for you. Okay, that didn't actually solve it. So I'm going to key the process again if I go in. Okay. So you just need to look into the text manager and see if there's any Chrome driver opened. So if it's under the window, the Visual Studio. If it's not, you look into the background process. So yeah, I've got two here basically. So I can delete, I can create those ones. So then if I rebuild again, that should be fine. Okay, so normally happens when you debug and you stop your process along the line. So these two steps is two tests is what we are trying to run. For next week, we're going to look into different weights basically. So you can see that one is running, that one is passed. There's another instance again. So this time around, let's look at it closely. So it's going to pass another parameter into the step, so which is test2 basically. So yeah, it's going to run twice with using different data sets basically. So and if you look into the test, it's going to tell you the data set that it's using. So at the first one, using test1 at test, and also with this, and the second time is using this. So that's how the example actually works. So things that you need to remember is, so when you're using examples, so you are having different tests basically. So these steps will be executed in the number of different, if you have two scenarios here, to test two data sets here, it's going to run this particular step twice. So the step is going to be executed by the number of data sets that you have basically. So that